You know, we've been through 2 weeks of college football already, and the top 25 has kind of taken up a lot of shakeups, man. It's not as easy as everybody thought. I figured there would be a lot of changes in the top 25. Teams are having to play each other and legit games, especially in the first couple of weeks. Now, of course, you know, I'm a big proponent for. I don't really want to see 70-0 games. I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see Grambling going to Ohio State, but I do want to see Grambling making the money that they need to make their season happen. So the way that I've always thought about this is, why don't we just have a preseason that doesn't count for either team, but the smaller team, in this case like Grambling, who went to Ohio State, gets to have that money in a preseason game that doesn't count against them. If they get beat 70-0, okay, cool, because it doesn't count against them. But if they have a chance and compete because they're playing the bench players at Ohio State, hey, maybe that's a morale booster. But look, after week 2, we learn a couple things, man. We got to remember college players are still kids, you know, especially we got to look at Michigan, man. Their fall to Oklahoma has brought them down to the 23rd ranking from 13. Look, their quarterback Underwood looked like an 18-year-old kid. It is what it is. It is what's expected. Look, you think you're the big hot stuff in high school football, then you come up into college and you realize sophomores and beyond are veterans. You realize they have a different view of the game. They treat the game differently and all this stuff. And when you come in there and you think you're the hot stuff, sometimes you get a wake-up call. It is what it is, you know? So I do wish the best for them, for that team up north for the rest of the season. I need them to be good so that when they play Ohio State at the end, it looks a lot better for the Buckeyes. But, you know, you need them to be good. But, man, this shakeup has been crazy. I mean, listen to this. First of all, Clemson almost lost at home to a nobody. To Troy, by the way. That was already a scare at halftime, being 16-3. But we got Ohio State at number 1, Penn State at number 2. Then we got LSU, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, and Florida State to round out your top 10. Florida State's looking like a little powerhouse over there, man. They're not really getting much attention. Then we got South Carolina, Clemson, Oklahoma, who beat Michigan, who came up from 18 to 13. Then we got Iowa State, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, South Florida, Bama, Utah, Texas Tech, Indiana, Michigan, Auburn, Missouri. So this kind of lines out your top 25. But look, there's a reason why we wait until November to get the official rankings. Okay. I think these rankings actually put too much pressure on some of these players and some of the schools. Let's be honest. Right now, Ohio State definitely looks like the number 1 team in the country. But we won't know that for a few more weeks, at least until November. We won't really know who the best team in the country is. We won't know until these guys actually kick into their big games. Right now, you know, they have maybe one big game, depending on what school it is. Like Ohio State played Texas to open the season. But then you're going to have 2 or 3 cupcake games, and then you kick into Big Ten play or SEC play, whatever it is. Big 12 play, and on and on. Until we get into the heart of the schedule and you see the big boys play the big boys, we don't really know who number 1 is. Right now, we can say it's Ohio State, but I just think that's putting unnecessary pressure on any team. Even Texas coming in as number 1 last week when they played Ohio State, I just think it put the wrong pressure on them and they folded and didn't know what to do. I mean, they couldn't execute, but that's a whole different story. But look at Clemson, man. Clemson, I'm serious, they almost had a crash out. You know, last week they lose at home to LSU, which was a really close game, a 17-10 game, which I actually enjoyed watching. But then Troy comes in and is leading 16-3 at halftime, and Clemson had to wake up in the second half, putting up 17 points in the third quarter and 7 points in the fourth quarter to actually even make this work out. Ooh, they got away with it because, listen, it was looking bad. It was looking real bad, you know, and all I can say is good thing that it worked out for them, but ooh, that was looking a little dicey. And looking at the rest of their schedule here, let's see what else they got. They got Georgia Tech next. They should be able to win that. Syracuse, they should be able to win that. North Carolina, listen, we need to give them time to know what they are. We don't know what North Carolina is, but Clemson should win that game. Boston College, we got SMU, Duke, Florida State. So basically, it's going to take until November 8th before Clemson has another big game. going to be November 8th. Then they have Louisville. They got Furman, another cupcake game, second to last week. And then they got South Carolina. So November 8th and November 29th are really going to be their big games. And this is the problem, you know. And for the biggest upset of the week, if I have to say it, is definitely Florida. Florida lost to South Florida at home. And Florida is currently no longer ranked. And South Florida, look, I said they were legit. Last week when they beat Boise State at home. When they beat them, I was like, man, this team is good. They have a good defense. Their offense can actually move the ball. They can play. They don't have to score too much because their defense is really that good right now. And I don't know if it's the first, couple weeks jitters from other teams or whatever it is, or they don't expect South Florida to be good. But, the Bulls are not playing around. They're not playing around. They beat the 25 ranked team, then they beat the 13th ranked team in Florida. And next they got Miami, who's a top 5 ranked team right now. Miami needs to come out and take this game seriously. Otherwise, they will get beat. Okay? So, something's going on down there in Florida, man. But these boys, look at what they put up on Florida, man. Byron Brown, he put up 23 for 36, 263 yards and a touchdown. He also carried the ball 17 times and had 55 yards on that. 66 yards on that. And Keyshawn Singleton, 2 receptions, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. These boys can put up stats, man, and they can beat you if you're not careful. So South Florida is kind of, the scary guy down there in Florida that's going around and beating these big teams. And listen to this, right? Right now they're ranked number 18. If they beat Miami number 5, they're going to be ranked in the top 10 no matter what, right? After that, they got South Carolina State, Charlotte, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, Memphis, University of Texas San Antonio, Navy, which will be a tough game no matter what, University of Alabama Birmingham, and their final game against Rice. If they beat Miami, they're a playoff team. If they beat Miami and they clean up the schedule, they're a playoff team. And this is one of those schools that no one thought of paying attention to. But they just beat Florida. So what are we going to say? And if they beat Miami, then what? Then what? What are you going to say? They beat a top 15 team. They beat a top 5 team. What are you going to say? Deny them a chance in the playoffs? You can't do it. Because their resume is going to show up. So, look, Miami better take this game seriously. Because South Florida is coming in to play, boys. And they're not playing. So, well, let's see what ends up happening.